Captain's Log, July 24th, 2026. Hello, I'm Captain Vile. Good on you, you've made it to Friday. Oh, doesn't feel like a Friday to me. So yesterday felt like a Tuesday as I was walking home from work. Thankfully, it wasn't Tuesday. I did not have more work to do. I got like shifts still, but I didn't have as much work to do as if it would have been Tuesday. But whatever. Weird how days can just kind of have feels like that. It's not even like a sleep schedule thing. Well, maybe it is, or no, shouldn't it? So I think it felt like Tuesday because I've been waking up really early and going to bed also really early. So days just feel a lot longer because like when you get up before the sun does, it's the days just feel longer. So but it should feel like if it was Tuesday, it would be like, oh man, it's been so long. The day's been so long. It feels like there's been more of them. So if it was Tuesday, it would feel like on Thursday, and then the other way around, which it did feel like yesterday. Today still doesn't feel like Friday, but it doesn't feel like Wednesday either. It's kind of like an in between Tuesday, Wednesday day. But what did I watch this week? This was my pick. U571, a submarine film, and I gave it 3 stars and a heart, and said, a fine film. I mainly enjoy it since it's about submarines, but my obvious bias aside, it's well made. Biggest thing against it during most of this, I was thinking I could be watching Das Boot right now, which isn't even this film's fault. It has the captain says to go deeper and the crew are scared to, and smaller boat goes against far larger, more powerful one, and other common elements in submarine films, but it pulls them off well. There are elements that are unique and I feel would make it worth checking out, but overall I felt like I left feeling it had been done better elsewhere. It's a shame the film was outdone, and I would have liked to like it more, but I can't find it in myself too. So, fine movie, but it's just. I think you're better off if you want to watch a long submarine movie about like again World War II, and I mentioned there's some trends in this movie that are in a lot of submarine movies, and I mean, okay, to be fair, I may have watched a few more submarine movies than the average movie goer, um, because submarines are cool as hell. So there's only, unless you want to do like some kind of adventure movie like Atlantis or something akin to that. And even then, the submarine isn't even in Atlantis that much. That's just the method of which they get to Atlantis. Specifically in like the Disney one. But it's typically a World War II film. You could do a World War I film with like the very early U-boats, but most people imagine World War II submarines. That's when they had them all sorted, and that's why there's typically as I said earlier, the captain says we need to go deeper, and the crew are uneasy, but they go along with it. And then there's they're up against, like in this, they go up against a destroyer. In Das Boot, they go up against like several ships, but not really like large ones. It's just they're outnumbered. But there are some, to this film's credit, there are some interesting things because, like, they take command of a German ship, which I thought was quite nice. Though there's like a language barrier of them trying to figure out how to actually operate the damn thing. And some other cool moments where they're like pretending to be German because they're in a German ship. So it's nice, and those elements help it a lot. But it's just, man, I could be watching Das Boot right now, and that movie is awesome. And this movie is good. But it's the difference between the two, and it's not fair. I wish it was, but it isn't. So, oh well. There's some more submarine movies I gotta watch. There's one about a mutiny. I think Crimson Tides is the name. And that's not come up yet in any of the movies I've watched. So that'll be interesting. See what they do with that. But I did like them impersonating the German scenes. Oh well. There are some upcoming films I'm quite interested to watch. It's been a bit since I've been interested in like modern cinema. I typically like this is a movie from the 2000s, and I know this is I get this all the time in the comments of, oh, Captain Vile only plays super old games, and now it's like he's watching all these old movies. Well, I've catered to the people who are vocal about that and played the alters maybe, I don't know, like a year ago. Nah, not a year ago, probably a few months ago. But whatever. Now I'll cater to the straw man I've just created of, oh, Captain Vile never watches new movies either. Because there are three I'm interested in. That have all gotten trailers. That I've only seen the trailer for two of them. There's one I like to, whenever I watch a movie, I'll I only ever watch trailers out of my own volition, and I just kind of go along with it. I'll get like ads, and you know how they'll have like ads be YouTube trailers, or they'll have YouTube ads be trailers, and I'm like, all right, I want to. Maybe I'll watch it, but with specifically the end of Something Lane, there's a new dinosaur movie coming out. Um, and I've not seen the trailer for that, and I don't want to know anything about it when I go into it. I'm already interested in the idea because I don't watch a lot of dinosaur movies, and I feel like there's a good market. Because I spoke to my father about this last week. Everyone's scared of Jurassic Park. No one wants to be compared to it. But I say phooey to that. If you haven't, I mean, you know what? Maybe allow me to backtrack on that statement a moment, because I literally just was going on about, oh, it's good, but it's been done better. So you know what? Maybe I should. Damn. Maybe they do have a. Maybe all the countless directors with dinosaur idea movies who decided, you know what, it's just going to be compared to Jurassic Park. Let's not bother. Maybe they actually knew to quit, whereas I didn't. I won't, because I was just going on. Oh, it's just Das Boot, but worse. And this has the potential to be Jurassic Park, but worse. So yeah, no. Never mind. But I still feel it's worth trying. Yeah, it's gonna be compared to everything else. You make a movie or something, it'll be compared to something if people can like match it in their head. It doesn't have to actually be another dinosaur film. They could be like, oh, it's also like this or that. That's just how people talk about stuff. It's not great, but it's how people talk about it. So it's gonna happen either way. I figure you try and get your vision out, even if it's gonna be compared to something that's come before and is more famous. Because I have like a dinosaur idea that I'll do one day. And you know what it's gonna be compared to? It's gonna be compared to Jurassic Park 3. And I don't care. I'm still gonna make the damn thing, eventually. Because I believe in it. I've lost my train of thought. The end of Oak Street, I think it's called. I'm going to watch that. I didn't see the trailer, though, because I want to go in blind as possible. But the two movies I have seen the trailer for are Acme vs. Coyote. There's a new trailer that's coming out. There's a whole story of like Warner Brothers burying the movie as tax write-offs and whatnot. But it's coming to theaters in August. And then there's also the Resident Evil movie. There's a new one, not the one from the 2000s. that's, excuse me, takes a bunch of liberties. I mean, this also kind of takes a lot of liberties, but it's set within the Resident Evil universe. It's not really based on a game. It's just like a guy going through what you could see through the games. Because, like, I saw the trailer just now. There's a new one where the guy goes into a house, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, this isn't based on any specific. I mean, it's like maybe the earlier ones, which I've only played a few of. I've only played a few of the Resident Evil games, frankly. I'm still working my way through. You tend to work through the series slowly if you only play one game a year, but Halloween only comes one time a year, so cut me some slack. I'm not there. There's no Summerween. This isn't Gravity Falls. All right, you're not getting 2 playthroughs of Resident Evil a year. As much as I would like to do that, because the series is very fun. That's why I'm interested in the damn movie. But I can see where they're coming from, but not specifically doing like a story, which is interesting. I quite like it. I quite like the shots in the trailer. A lot of wide shots, a lot of snow in the opening. In the scenes they showed, I think he goes to a city and it's still in winter. But there's this scene where there's a zombie running down a hill, and it's like really wide, and she's running towards the house, and it's cool. I quite like that. So that's what sold me. That specific shot. If you just have great cinematography, I'll be more inclined. But whatever. I do have some. I did say I would talk about the computer updates, because guess what? We're still having problems with the computer, specifically the graphics card. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun hearing me talk about the same topics over and 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 over again? I had to count out those last 5 because oh really? You keep saying over and over, Captain. I get it. No, you don't. No, you don't. I gotta have a specific amount of overs for you to get it, because you're not going through it. I am, and I'm telling you about it, and I'm gonna calm down now. I have any water? I should have checked before I started recording. I have a little sip, but I'll gulp down now. Whatever. Dropped the bottle. But it's empty, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying not to step on it, or I can just put it away now. Be somewhat responsible, you know? I've also checked this, because I didn't. I should have. Okay, no, cool. We're not doing an improv hour show. That's next Friday. Next Friday, the 31st, is when I go to do the hour show. But still issues with that. I'm not going to go into specifics right now, because I don't want to talk about it right now. But can't play strenuous games. Can't really do strenuous editing. Can you believe that? Like, Premiere Pro causes my computer to freeze. So I'll have to, and I have to power it off and power it back on, and then edit slowly and wait for it to process stuff. So that's, even editing's tedious, but whatever. I don't do that much editing. But if I want to do a complicated thing, it's just a little annoying. And not even that complicated of a thing. I want to just add music and whatever. I do have some work anecdotes, however. Specifically, so we had this how you feel about how you're being treated meeting, where HR came in and feigned enthusiasm and gave us a bunch of specifically 5 newer employees, because we had a survey that is supposedly anonymous, but I have my doubts because I was in the damn group meeting. And anyway, we were given sheets of paper to write out grievances, and also told it was anonymous, but I believe that because the lady stepped out of the room. But who was also in the meeting was Frankenstein's monster, the guy who bragged about constantly doing night shifts and scrambling his brain, who really annoys me because he's really bad at his job. He was also in the meeting there, and he was trying to rush it along. And I was like, because the lady would give us busy work, what is essentially. She would give us a piece of paper and said, all right, write down something you got a problem with, and then write down how you think we can deal with that problem. I'll give you guys 20 minutes. And we did it in like 3 minutes. And then we just sat there for 17 minutes. And he was tapping his fingers, and he was like, okay, can we go call her and tell her we're done? And I was so close to grabbing him by the shoulders, strailing him, and saying, hey, moron, we are being paid to do nothing right now. We're on the clock right now. And that lady is playing Angry Birds on her phone in, like, the hallway or something. We're all getting paid to sit here and not bust our ass in the kitchen right now. So shut up and don't ruin a good thing, alright? Because if we play our cards right, which I did, I was the one who had to, like, take the wheel and steer it into, like, gleefully incompetence of, can we have a few more minutes? We're not quite done, because she, like, came back. And you know what I got? I got us an hour of basically being paid to do nothing. And that's not for like the 20 minutes she came back. It's like, actually, we need more time. No, she gave us multiple sheets of paper. And each and every time she gave a sheet of paper, she's like, all right, I'll give you guys 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, can we have a few more time? So yeah. So I was the hero of the day, and Frankenstein's monster was the stupid moron who doesn't know that they're being handed free money if they're patient. That was annoying. I hate that guy a lot. Other than that, not too many anecdotes. I think I had something else I wanted to say, but I cannot quite remember it. I had 2 dreams. However, I never wrote them down. And I can't even remember what happened in them. I just remember I had dreams, which is so annoying. I wonder why your brain does that. It just... What dream? You just left with the knowledge you had it, but you don't know anything about it, which is so irritating. You get good ideas in them sometimes. And you're like, oh, because I've turned some dreams into, like, stories. And so, like, I don't think these particular dreams had that much in the way of, like, anything substantial, but I still, like, I don't necessarily get, like, stories, but I'll get, like, a cool shot, or I'll get something out of each one. I'll get, like, oh, like, the quote story was pretty bad, but like the scenery we were in was pretty cool. The color, the design, that's classy. I'll keep that in mind for like a location to draw soon. I've had dreams that are like we were talking about this earlier. You know, Daybreakers and 30 Days of Night, where it's like style over substance. Just the writing's decent, but the shots are what you're there for. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. Or I didn't want to mention it, but I like realized it after the fact, after talking about them, is both of the style over substance 2010s like movies. They're vampires. They're vampire movies, both of them. And I think it's just because you can do so much with color in a vampire movie. Because it's the blood. It pops. Especially in 30 Days of Night, because it was like blood on snow, so it's really popped. There's a scene in From, the new season. You know the new season, the one I've been complaining about all day long. There is a scene, I don't want to spoil anything, because as bad as Season 4 is, I believe it is your right as a viewer to go into something not knowing anything about it. No matter, even if you know it sucks ass, you should not be spoiled. You should be able to experience that garbage blind. I know I've kind of given away that it's garbage, but that was the point. You even if it's the worst movie ever made, and there's some kind of plot twist, and that's not related to why it's the worst movie ever made. That's just there. You should not be told about the plot twist. You should go in blind. I'm going on a whole other tangent. The point is, there is a shot, well, more of a scene. It's mainly the lighting. They've been doing this with, like, the diner as the show's gone along. But there is a scene where it's straight out of one of those movies with the lighting, especially because it's a neon light, which they really utilize those in those movies. And it's like that. I put it up my screen. I was like, that could be in one of those 2010s bad but good movies right there. And that did not make me think is from a bad but good show, because it's not. But maybe I'll interrogate that thought now. It's got some good moments, but it's got ass writing. And some of my favorite shows have absolute ass writing, like Gotham and Riverdale. I don't know what they're doing in the writer's room, but it certainly isn't keeping track of plot lines. They're certainly not in From, but they'll do that in the other shows to remind you how stupid they are. But From isn't quite there in terms of, like, bad but good, like Riverdale and Gotham are. Because they embrace... Okay, Gotham is like... Gotham also isn't there. I think Gotham is poorly written, and it's got some bad moments, but is an alright show. But it's really good if you enjoy that it kind of sucks. Whereas Riverdale is like a terrible show. It sucks ass. But it's so good. And you should watch it because it sucks. And it also does have good lighting, which is a similar, like... It's like if they made one of the 2010s shows, or 2010s movies, a show. Because they pulled, like, they do so much in that show. That's what I'll do. I was talking about watching something while animating, which I'll get to that in a bit, because, like, I kind of can't watch stuff while animating now. Because I'm going to have to manually swap from tablet to monitor because of the graphics card. I can only listen to stuff, and maybe I can, like, pull it up on my laptop and, like, look over and kind of, like, simulate having two monitors. But I should rewatch Riverdale! Yeah! Yeah, everyone at their screen is just going, God, would you not do that, Captain? Maybe we have a good show suggestion for you. Maybe we have a show that doesn't have, like, 12 serial killers, one of which is a giant gargoyle monster that people just act as normal. No, Captain, don't. Well, whatever. Maybe I wanna watch a terrible show. Maybe I want to watch rewatch a terrible show based on Archie comics. Maybe I want to watch a show that make fans speculate if they ate one of the characters because the actor didn't want to show up to one of the shoots during a flash forward scene at, like, the end of a season. Maybe I want to watch. All of that happens, by the way. I've spent too much time talking about this stupid show. Not even on, like... Oh, I don't think I've mentioned it that much, but I used to talk with my sibling about it all the time because I got them to watch it. I got them to watch this stupid show, and they'd come to me every now and then. We're like, "Did they do this? Did they do that?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, they do." I talk about it in real life a lot more than I talk about it online. And I should change that. But it was another thing I wanted to mention. I've gotten into some reading lately. Oh, you finally started reading the Meg again, Captain? No, I did not. There's only so much bad but good, but also kind of straight up bad a man can take. And now that I am willingly, of my own volition, exerting the effort to to go back and watch Riverdale, I'm executive decision, throwing my hands up. The press have raised the microphones. This is the inside story. This is the scoop, folks. I'm still not reading the Meg. What am I reading? You'll have to wait and see, because I'm honestly it's not a book. It's like what is the name? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's when a piece has multiple authors. And it's annoying, I can't think of it right now. That is annoying me so much. Anyway, but I find the story interesting enough, and I also find the fact that it's, like, basically a public work because it's written on the internet and you can just read it for free. So they can't claim any ownership of that. What if I were to, perchance, make an audio drama adaptation of this story? For free, without any legal repercussions? So that's why I'm like holding it close to my chest here. It's because it's a surprise. I'm like deciding if I want to or not, because I'm still not done with it, obviously. But I'm enchanced enough. Entranced in you stupid moron. Entranced. There we are. I'm interested in the story enough that I'm workshopping, like, how feasible would this be? Could I do all these voices myself, or do I need to get voice actors? And if I do, I'm not going to do that. At least not now. It's not going to be a recent project. I've already got enough going on thinking about it. But just where it's in the planning and development stage, or the research and development stage. But maybe one day. Oh well. I am getting a little hoarse, and as you heard earlier, I've drinking all of the water I have in my room. So I'm going to end the recording. I may complain about my computer a little more, just to paint you a clearer picture of what I'm dealing with. But you know what? Nope. The hoarseness in my voice, is winning over the pettiness in my soul. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.